Welcome again. This is second part of the CRUD with Angular and Django API. In the previous section, we've done a few things. We have set up a Django API and we have that up and running here. And we have our API with movies, and at the moment we have two movies in our database. That has been set up. And we also have created a frontend with Angular, and we have our one view, and that will list our movies, and that's with connection with our API. As you can see here, you have response, and that's our movies coming from our API. So we have done this so far. So next we will cover and we will finish our CRUD. We'll get also post, put and delete methods using the same API. So let's get started. But before we'll move to another method, I can show you another trick that can be done with Django. So basically we have a list of movies, and here this is our request that we send a list of movies, and we list everything. But in here we only use a title, so there is no need for us to print it here, year, or a description. We don't need that. Only thing we will need is the title and ID. So let's fix it quickly. If we'll come here, we have our serializer. So what I can do is actually I can duplicate that serializer, Ctrl D or Command D, and I will create another one, movie serializer, and I will name it movie mini serializer. It will be model movie, but in this serializer we will need only ID and title. So if I will save it and I will go to the views, what I can do here is we'll still want to use the movie serializer, the full one, as a default value, but we can do for our list to use mini serializer. So I can do def list, enter, and part2 will auto-complete that for me. What we can do here is we can do movies, movie objects, all, the same way as we selected in the query set here, and we can do serializer, and we can do movie mini serializer. That's the one we have used, and we need to pass movies into it, and also many equal to true, and we also need to import that serializer. So we have our serializer here, and we need to return response serializer that data, and we also need to import that response. So from rest framework response import response, and we have that. So basically what we do is we have our view set here. We've created definition, a method list, and that's a built-in method in Django. So basically we override it. We are telling we don't want to use the Django one, we would like to use our own. So if I will have that, we'll use movie mini serializer for that list. If I will come back here and I will refresh it, remember that we had a description, title, year and ID here. If I will do this now, I can see movies here, and we have our ID and our title only. We don't need to have the full serializer here. It will be faster, more efficient, and wherever we will need to get the full information, we can still use our full serializer, and we will do that next. So if I will click on this item, then we will load this, based on this ID, we'll load the whole movie. So let's go to our Visual Studio Code here, and at the moment we have get all movies, and we use our serializer. So going to component, what I can do here is I can select on H2, wherever we click on this, we can trigger our function movie clicked. And then what we can do, we can pass which movie we actually clicked with a movie, which is this movie here. So movie click, we need to also create that inside our component. So we'll go here, and then I will do this one. We can use arrow function. Like that. And then we pass movie. So for now I can do console log movie ID. Let's say if that will work, we'll see that in output. So we have our console. If I will click on Titanic, I have ID 1. If I click on Avatar, I have ID 2. Going to Visual Studio Code again. Now what we can do is basically we can copy that, get one movie. We don't have that method, but we'll need to pass movie ID inside. And I will do something with this later on. So let's create that method first. We have our API server service. I will duplicate it here. I will need to copy and paste it. So our method was get one movie. And in this case, we pass ID. So our URL will be get base URL movies, and we also need to concatenate our ID into it. So, and then remember / at the end of it. So basically here we can pass that ID. So we have movies/ID that will be passed to that method, and then / at the end, and we'll use that get. And so get one movie, that's it. So if I will go back to my component, what I can do actually is let me try to output to console what is the data. That has been rebuilt. Okay, if I will click Titanic, you can see Titanic, nice drama here. So the full serializer is used, and I have full information about this. So if I go back to movies here, you can see preview. I have only ID and title. If I click Avatar, I will load this one, and I have full information about it. So if you have bigger models, that's the way to do it. So if you click something, you need to have detailed information about it. You can do it like this. Okay, that's been done. So next, what we can do is we can create a post and put methods. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code here, and we'll need to do it inside our app component HTML. Let's try to do something like this. So HR horizontal line, and then we can do title, and we can do input, type text, and also we can do ng model. Like that, and then we can use a model title. Like that. I can copy that twice. Actually, I can do a break here. So break, and also break. I will do description, and here. Oh, sorry. That's text, and description here and here, and we'll need to create that variables: title, description, and year in our component. So let's do title, and it will be like that, or we don't need to pass any value to it yet. So title, description, and also year. Let's say we will have it like that. I made a mistake. Oh, like that. So that's our variables here, and we will actually use it in our inputs. So what we can do, we have whenever we click on this movie, we have our movie data. So we can actually assign values from that movie to our inputs using like that. So if I will go title is equal to data title, description is equal to data description, and data year. Actually, you can do it as a part of one. I need to do this, sorry. As a part of one object, you don't need to create 3 variables, but I found it just easier and faster for this to explain it. So we have the 3 different variables, and we can assign that value from our API to this variable separately, like that. So if I will go back to our application now, and now we refresh it, probably we have some errors. ng model, since this is a known property of input, we need to add forms into our Angular. So we need to go back to our Visual Studio Code, and we have our module here, and inside here we also need to add forms. So we can do import forms module from add Angular for forms. So that's what we need to import, and then another module import here. So if I will save it again, I can go back here, and you can see here we have our inputs now. I will refresh it now. We have problem with our movies. No, the movies are fine. So console, it is fine. For some reason it's not working properly. I'll just double check what's going on here. So there's a few things we need to fix. So title, that's a description, and that's a year. What's happening here? We have, okay, I made a mistake because I put it in a wrong method. This is get all movies. What we wanted to have is we wanted to have like this when you select one specific movie, but in here what we want to try is movies, and that's data. So that was our method, get all movies. So whatever we get all the movies, we assign to our movies and the data, whatever is coming from the API. So we made a mistake here, I made a mistake, and we have our Titanic and Avatar. Whatever I click here, you can see title, description, and the year is here. Titanic, it is here. So we have already that in the input. So what I can do is I can now create a button that I will update this value on our API. So we go back here, then we have HTML. What I can do here is I can do button. Inside button I can do put, that will be my put method here, and I can do click, I can do click here, and whatever I click, let's say I will put or update movie. I could name it update, but actually put, it will tell you straight away what is the method that we are using, but for a great user interface you should name it something more user friendly, but I will leave it like this. So we have our update movie, and then we can use this one. So I will copy that, I will go to component, and I need to also create that method. So update movie, we have a new method here, and we will update it from here. But one more thing I need to do is I will need to also store the ID like that. So basically what I can do at this point is, maybe it will be easier to store it in one single object. So I can do selected movie, and I will remove those. I will have selected movie, and wherever I will click on the movie, selected movie will be the one coming from our API. So I can remove those, and we'll have our selected movie, and we'll save whatever it's coming from the API, including ID. I will put it in selected movie, and inside here ng model I can do selected movie title, selected movie description, and selected movie year. So let's try it again if that's is still working. And it is not. Cannot read property title of undefined, because we'll need to also take care of the one thing. So if I have that, this is null. So at the moment it is whenever we try to load the HTML, there is nothing for selected movie. So what we can do is we can do selected movie wherever we have our constructor. So selected movie, we can say title is empty string, description is empty, and also we can do year is 0, and we can also do ID here -1. I will format that. So and also this selected movie. So we set up an object with some empty values here. So if I will go here, you can see this is empty, this is empty, this is 0, and wherever I click on here, it will populate it. So that's how we have it there. And then wherever I click put, we'll have our function to put it. So let's go back to update movie now, and we have our selected movie, and we know which one is selected. So what we can do is I will copy that again, and we will go update movie. Update movie. This one, this time we would like to send this selected movie. Remember that selected movie will have everything what we've changed in the input, so we can forward that to new method update movie, and we'll need to create it now. So we go like that, and we go update movie, and in here we will have our movie. What we need to do, this one will be different because it will be put method. So what we need to do is we need to include our body. So our body will be like this. So we can do constant body, and we'll basically recreate similar object as we've done here. So I'll just copy that, and I can put it here. So ID will be movie ID. Actually, we don't need to pass it ID here because we're not going to overwrite it. So we will pass here a movie ID that will be part of the URL. Title will be our title. Description will be description, and the year year. So whatever is coming from our inputs, it will be passed to update movie. When we click it, we will form this JSON here, and we'll also need to include it here. So body, we'll include it in the body, like that. So if I will save it now, go back here, so we have our Titanic, let's say Titanic 2, and take a look at our network tab. If that will work, so we'll click put, and not actually work yet, so put. So we haven't, I think, saved this file. Yeah, so we have saved now. We'll do Titanic, Titanic 2, put it, and that's our put method here, and it's 200, so it is successful. And then this is what we have in response. So we have a Titanic 2. If I will refresh it now, you can see this one here coming from our API. And also if I will go movies here, that's our Django admin section. If I will go here, you can see that has been updated with our frontend. So we have this. So another thing what we can do, if we have component here, and wherever we update this movie, so the selected movie, wherever we update it, we also could update the one that is in our movies. If you want to have like this, if you do avatar, let's say 5, and you send it, you could update this in the list. But I am not gonna do it, but that will be something that you would like probably to do. Okay, next thing what we can do is we can create method post. Post will be very similar to what we have already inside our section. So I will just copy this, and I will do post. And I will do create movie here, create movie. So save this, and also update movie. I will copy because it will be very similar, and I will paste it here. So create movie, the same here in our service, create movie, and we can pass our selected movie because that will still use our data we've created. So whenever we get this response from the server, what we can do is we can do this, movies, push data. And we've created new movie, and then we push it to our list of movies on our main screen. Basically what we need to do is we need to create a new service for that as well. So service, we had update, and then we'll create movie. We'll also pass the movie from our inputs. We also create that title, description, and year. We don't need to have this ID because we don't have ID. We are trying to create a new one, and this method will be post. So let's save it now. Everything looks okay. We have a new method here, so let me try Jurassic Park and description. Very good, whatever. And Jurassic Park, as always, I don't remember. So post, and Jurassic Park has been added here. So I can see here movies. That was method post, and we send that information from here, and the response was this movie here, and we add it to the list there. So if I will refresh it now, you can see I have that already here. And if I will go to the movies on our Django API, you can see now I have 3 objects. So clicking here, I have whatever I sent from my front end just a second ago. So we have get, 2 ways of get, the a list of all movies that's using mini serializer. We also have a get for detail get. We have put and post. Now what we can do is we can create a last one, which is delete. So let's do that now. We go to the HTML and I will create delete movie here. So I will need to create that method inside our component, wherever we created or whatever we have. That I will copy that, paste it. So we need to do delete movie, and then we will pass selected movie. Basically, we don't need to pass the selected movie. We can pass only ID, because we are not gonna pass any information to that service. We'll only pass ID. So delete movie. We need to create that service. So that service is here. So we also will copy that, paste it here, change the name to delete. That's our last service, and this will be ID this time. So we will use URL similar to what we had here. This time we don't need to pass body, and also we pass ID. I can remove that body here. So we have only ID here that I'm passing here as a part of the URL, and this will be delete. So it's very similar to what we already had it. So we have delete movie passing ID to the URL, and that will be delete method here. And whatever we have it here, we had this push for post method, but we don't want to use put. What we can do instead is, if I will reuse that function here, get movies, I can actually update it with my function to get always the latest values for the movies. And I can do the same with update movie, like that. So whatever something has been changed, I will load new list of from my API. So let's try it now. I have Titanic, and I can put it, and that has been updated already here. So let's say remove avatar 5. I have whenever I click here, I have ID selected. It's not visible here, but it's part of the selected movie, and I can click delete, and you can see this is gone already. And my method was that was this one. So we have delete, and then it's 200, and the response is nothing there because it was removed. So we have Titanic and Jurassic. If I refresh it, it's still here. And then if I will go movies, we have two objects here because we just remove it. Well, this is not fully functional application here, because if I will click delete now, nothing is selected. So I'll have some errors because -1 is the ID of selected this. So probably you would like to hide it, the delete and the put if there is no selected action. Actually, we can do it quickly. So if I will go HTML, I can do ngIf, like that. If selected movie ID is not equal to -1, then you display this put, and then you also do it like here, and this one we can do is equal to -1. So the post will be available only when you have nothing selected. The put and delete will be available when you have something selected. So in our setup here, you can see nothing is selected, so I can post new movie, avatar again, description, something here. Let's say was 2000, which wasn't, and then post, and then we can select avatar, and then we can have put and delete, and I can have that avatar and I can remove it here, or I can do fix my spelling mistake. So that was Titanic here, and I can put it here, and we have new version here. So that's it. We have a full CRUD. We have 5 methods altogether, and that's methods that are listed here in the API service. So we have get all movies that will use the mini serializer we've created. We have get one movie that will select based on the ID full information for one selected movie, and we pass ID into it. Then we have update, create and delete methods as well. So that's fully functional application. As you can see here, it was quite fast to set it up. We have our front-end application with Angular, and we have a backend application fully working locally with Django. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please do subscribe on my channel, because I will try to put more videos like this related to Angular and Django, and whenever I will have something new, you will be notified. Also, it will be really nice for me to reach 1,000 subscribers, because I can convert my YouTube channel to paid ones, and I will be able to create more. Also, I would like to invite you to my full course I have on Udemy, and you can find link below this video. And in that Udemy course, I have 15 hours a long explanation, more in details how we can achieve all that, how also we can prepare both projects, and explain it more in details there. So if you're interested knowing more about this topic, I invite you to that course, and in the description you will have the maximum of value in the coupon. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoy it, and I see you next time.